And so here's what I did for every single game that we're going to recap today. I wrote a newspaper type headline for every single match.
Okay.
And the first match we're going to talk about is the Saudi Arabia game. And the newspaper headline for this one is Saudi Arabia defeats their omens.
Okay, I like that.
See what I'm trying to do here?
Clever.
And they defeated their omens through a crazy 2-1 comeback that saw some insane refereeing controversy, but also some crazy goals as well. What were your thoughts on this game?
This was a game of tight margins, completely exemplified by the start of this match. Oman actually kind of went at Saudi Arabia a little bit in those first 10-15 minutes, garnered some possession, but Saudi Arabia also too showed that they were going to attack Oman. Both teams were kind of canceling each other out, but what broke that early deadlock was a really marginal penalty, man. One of the most inadvertent, unlucky penalties I think I have ever seen. Even worse than an inadvertent handball, man, because, with handballs, you can at least say, oh, the defender should have put his hands behind his back. With this one, you are literally asking the Saudi Arabian player to not have legs.
Yeah, don't run. Don't run, bro. Yeah, don't participate in the game for a minute.
It makes no sense.
It's really tough.
He wasn't even challenging the play.
Yeah.
He was just tracking back. And yes, he does step on the Omani player's foot. I understand that, but just completely out of context. Within what was occurring in the play, it's just one of the harshest penalties I have ever seen. I guess from a textbook interpretation, the referee made the right decision, but my goodness, what a harsh call.
Yeah, I think this is representative of probably the weakest and worst side of VAR. That the power of a freeze frame when it comes to VAR, and how if you just stay put on that photo of him stepping on the back of his foot, obviously it looks like a foul, it looks like a penalty, so you call it, but it removes all the context that's needed to make the right decision. And so, yeah, once again, textbook penalty, but man, really tough to concede from a Saudi Arabian perspective, and a fucking gift from an Omani perspective.
An absolute gift, because that was their game plan. That is always going to be Oman's game plan, in the sense that get one goal and then just defend. Even if it's 0-0, very similar to Syria, Oman's game plan is always defend first and then attack in transition. And Oman did just that, man. Salah puts away the penalty. It's 1-0. An Omani Salah, I think
what a game.
2 A's in his name. It's a little bit different.
What a
3
game,
A's.
though.
But yeah, he had a fantastic game. Him and Jamil were phenomenal in transition. That's one thing I'll give Oman's offense this game specifically, is that they were so aggressive when they went forward, and they always seemed to have like an extra runner that would provide a little bit more relief when they were just looking to keep Saudi Arabia away from possession. They did a really good job at that. But I mean, dude, for large portions of this game, it really was just Saudi Arabia sending in balls into the box and Oman just cutting them out. There was very little chances from a Saudi Arabian perspective, but again, it was just due to that really sturdy defense.
Dude, that first half, it was all crosses from Saudi Arabia, and really the only true opportunity they got was at the very end, where the keeper Al-Mukhaini had an insane save, where Saudi Arabia had a clear-cut opportunity. Bad finishing, in my opinion, shooting it back straight to the goalkeeper, but still, what a moment. Outside of that, not much else for Saudi Arabia, and I do think ultimately Oman was deserving of the 1-0 lead going into the half, because they worked for it, bro. This team was working so hard, and they were so cohesive on defense. You just knew, though, that it was going to take something special. It was going to take something outside of utilizing those wings and sending balls in to break this Oman defense, and it finally came when Saudi Arabia's quality showed and their depth showed, with substitute Al-Gharib comes in and has just a wonderful, beautiful drive into the box, a nice tucked-in finish. Who needs Messi in Saudi Arabia when you have Al-Gharib, bro? The little magician. What a beautiful, beautiful goal that gives Saudi Arabia the 1-1 tie and gives them that confidence to get back into this match.
A dirty solo goal from Gharib, ghosting past 3 Omani players, and capped it off with a brilliant little finish to tuck it in the bottom corner. And Saudi Arabia equalized in that moment, and I think at that point they had like 15 minutes left, maybe 12 minutes left, and I was like, the second goal is going to come. You could just kind of feel it, because at that point Saudi Arabia were really applying the pressure to that Omani back line. And with the fans in the stadium, the noise that was generated, the momentum that Saudi Arabia was building, I was just like, it's going to be tough for Oman to keep this draw. It's going to be real tough.
And finally, that moment came, bro. But my God, what a dramatic ending to this match with Abdullahi scoring the goal off of a corner kick. Insane moment. He goes off and he starts celebrating. But then the ref starts showing some hesitation. He starts showing that maybe they need to review the offside line to see if it's a legal goal. And then you could see the replay. You could see there very clearly was onside. Yeah. The ref receives word for that. And then he has what I think ultimately ends up being a miscommunication, bro.
Yeah.
Because somehow Oman thought that the call was not offsides. Saudi Arabian players started running back thinking that the call was that the goal didn't count. And then all of a sudden the ref is like, wait, guys, hold up. This is actually a goal. We got a goal here, folks. Celebrate. We got a goal here. And within 5 seconds, Abdullahi is blowing a fucking green balloon and the corner flag celebrating a goal because Saudi Arabia has gone up 2-1. Saudi Arabia gets the lead in this match, but this whole controversy with the ref, or rather, this whole confusion with the ref was something I truly haven't seen before.
I've never seen it because the thing is, I was with the Omani players because I think the ref did it in the wrong order. He did the signs in the wrong order. Usually, if the call is offside, you raise your hand. And he rose his hand first to say that it was not offside. So he was implying that no offsides, goal. He did it in the wrong order, though. That was the problem. So I'm actually completely understand why Oman got really confused. And the thing is, even the Saudi Arabian players started to track back for like 2 seconds because they also, too, thought, oh, it's going to be called offside. So I think the referee had a little blunder here. Luckily, though, no controversy because it was onside.
Yeah. What an ending, bro. What an ending to such a dramatic, like you said, tight match. Saudi Arabia wins this game 2-1. What's the big takeaway here?
I think they deserved a win. I really do. I know you had mentioned that Oman had deserved the 1-0 lead, but I actually disagree. I think they got very fortunate to even take the lead in the first place. And even though, again, players like Jamil and Salah were really good and the defense was so disciplined, I just didn't see enough offensively for Oman. They were so vigorous going forward, but they had almost no midfield presence. And to me, you kind of have to have a good game plan offensively to earn a win. And I just don't think they had it because, in my opinion, they actually didn't score a fair goal, right? So for me, I think it's only made sense that Saudi Arabia won this game. I would have been cool with a draw. Oman deserved a draw, but I think Saudi Arabia went at it for 90 minutes, and in that case, I think they did deserve it. Now, the thing is, for Saudi Arabia specifically, slightly concerning that it took them till stoppage time to get the lead. Like, definitely. Now, obviously, it's against a very good defensive team, but when you look at all of the other top 5 teams in Asia, Saudi Arabia probably struggled the most. And if we're considering Saudi Arabia to be title contenders, hopefully they take this as a lesson to maybe be a little bit more creative when you have a team that sits back, or at least find different avenues rather than just send hopeful balls into the box. And maybe Mancini needs to bring on players like Garib earlier, too.
Maybe even start.
Yeah, low-key. Yeah, maybe even start. Because he came in, the 75th minute?
Real late.
Did real late, and within 3 minutes, had a beautiful play. So maybe be a little bit more adventurous going forward. That's really the only criticism I can give Saudi Arabia, because they were overall very good. I just need to see a little more if they want to make a deep run in this tournament.
Yeah, I want to see second half Saudi Arabia for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah.
The way they turned it on, I thought was so drastic from how they played in that first half. But all in all, man, this was actually my favorite game of the tournament so far. My favorite game of the tournament because I like the tight margins. I like the goals that were needed to break those margins. And I love the atmosphere. I love seeing all that green in the stadium. The Saudi Arabians came out to support their team. A night match with that beautiful lighting, bro. This was my favorite game of the tournament. And so I'm actually going to give the first 8.0 rating of the tournament.
I'm going to give this one a 7.5. 7.5.
Yeah, that's pretty high.
Yeah. It was a great game.
Yeah.
Really well contested. Yeah.